Hi there, this is the Gerber MP400, medium-sized, light-duty multi-tool. This is a little brother of the Gerber MP600. Very similar construction. Everything's just a little bit squished together. Immediately noticeable is the lack of a ruler on the outside and just the difference in tips, although you certainly can get the MP600 with the needle tip. So this is again a old style Gerber flicky opening multi-tool. It's fairly new, so the flick hasn't quite come along yet. There we are. Still quite stiff. I'm just going to do a tool overview and share my thoughts. So it's a needle point plier. They come together at the end there, a little bit rougher than perhaps a Leatherman or a SOG would be. But that's okay, they still certainly have at least 95% contact on those tips. When you look at it on the side, the tips come together very well, and then there's a bit of air getting between the rest of the gripping section, which again isn't a problem at all. That's intentional. And then you've got some knurling for turning bolts. You've got some wire cutter function there, which are just a part of the head, so it's not replaceable, which is fine on a smaller tool like this. Pliers slide down by pushing in these two buttons, slide in the back. You can open it a few ways, you can drop, or you can flick, or you can just slide. It has these locking tools on the inside of the handle, and they're actually quite comparable to its bigger brother's tools. Let's go through them now. First is the knife, which has the nail nick on the wrong side firstly. I'm not sure if that's just this tool or if that's supposed to be the case, but the nail nick is there. Fairly well obscured by that can opener, but that's fine. I can still just grab it with a pinch. It is a combo edge. The chisel ground scalloped serrations there are fairly gentle and effective, and that won't tear your things up, they'll still slice fairly well. And then a double beveled inch or so of main blade there. The next tool is a stumpy Phillips, which is three-dimensional, which is good. That's about of a standard size for a mini multi-tool like this. Looking at the big brother, it is the same Phillips. So that's why a few people knock this larger MP600, because its competitors have vastly bigger handle tools. However, the MP400 is in a different class and actually has very comparable smaller tools, perhaps compared to this SOG which I've just talked about. So this has a longer Phillips, slightly, but again, it's a bit thinner. So it's getting more towards being acceptable having such a small Phillips, because the purpose of this tool is just for little pocket-sized emergencies really. The next tool along, the bottle opener and medium flathead, which will open a bottle and turn a flathead screw quite well. So it's your three tools on that side. On the other side we've got a can opener, for those people still using can openers. We've got two drivers, one very small, which will fit sunglasses, depending on the size of course, but it fits my sunglasses quite well. And then you've got what is, I suppose, your large flathead, which when you compare it to the other, there's a few extra millimeters on that one. I don't particularly use flathead screwdrivers a great deal, so I'm not bothered. And then they've got scissors, which is a little bit newer to this model. Spring-loaded scissors. They've got rid of the file and put scissors, which I think is very wise in a sort of pocket-sized multi-tool. Much more usable. The scissors are just from that spring there. Just pushing them back up. Some of them say Fiskars on them, some of them don't. They fold back quite neatly into the handle. overall. I quite like this tool. It weighs about 150 grams. It's a 5-ounce tool. Very similar, in fact, to the SOG. Actually weighs a little bit more, I would say. So it may well be up towards about 170 grams. Fit and finish is a little bit rougher. This matte metal appearance, this sandblasted, whatever you call it, it's a little bit less endearing to look at. The plastic locks I do have some reservations about. I would prefer they just got a little bit of stainless steel done the same with it. The plier head is about on par with what you'd expect. Size-wise, very similar, integral to the pliers rather than having cutters such as these which are replaceable. And it does certainly feel fairly robust. I got this for 35 Australian dollars from an eBay seller called Cadet Shop, which is about the best deal I've seen going on these, especially from an Australian retailer. Overall, I'm quite happy with it. It comes in a pretty average Gerber sheath, one of those multi-use Gerber sheaths. I think a few different tools come in these. I think my 600 came in a very similar one that was just a little bit bigger. It's just got Velcro on the fluffy side on that side. It's got this stupid belt loop attachment where it doesn't fit on a work duty belt like a utility belt. It's just too thin, and they've put these two sections. I know it's so you can wear it either high or low or upside down or whatever, but I'd rather it just be one loop to about here, that's all. But I will probably just use this in my pocket. And there we go. So thank you for watching my review of the Gerber MP400. See you next time.